Good evening, all. I'm just doing a quick check down everything to make sure that you can hear me, and hopefully you can. But welcome, good evening. Happy Sunday to everyone. Good stream. Let me know. I'm checking. I'm not muted, so I'm not making that mistake. But yeah, let me know. Hello, can you hear me? Good evening. Good evening to fantastic. Thank you, Stack. Good evening to Jadomo, Stakara Mad Teapot, Ray Louderbeck, Citizen Ninja, Drop Yogurt, Jadomo, Zaveth, Shadow Girl, Hardgrim, John Chavez. Del Kenobi. Good evening to everyone. And yeah, good. That's a bonus. A few things to talk about this evening, and looking forward to getting into it with all of you. The key thing here, I'm going to take the glasses off, just because A, my eyes could do with the rest, and B, I know it's kind of catching the reflection. I'm hoping to get a new arm for the camera so I can kind of move it around at the moment, because it's either where it is at the minute, which is straight in front, which I know can be a little bit confrontational. It's kind of a bit like, and up there is like really high. It's like, you kind of sat on the fence looking down at me. So yeah, hopefully we'll get something that's a little bit in the middle, kind of exciting, maybe between the two monitors. So you sit maybe a little bit up here and kind of look down, which would be better, right? Because then the other thing that does is it takes the screens out of the direct reflection eye line, so you don't see all the glare off the glasses and see exactly what I'm looking at, and see all the naughty things that I have on in the background. Like my Elite Dangerous account. I'm kidding. But good evening to all. Fantastic. Good evening to Edison, to Sol, and to Wooter as well. Good to see you all. The first thing I wanted to cover, just while people are kind of coming in and saying hello, next Sunday, so this time next week, we will still do a live stream, but it's going to be a live stream with a difference, because it's going to be the celebration of you guys. 3,000 subscribers last weekend. I asked you guys what you wanted. We wanted a Star Citizen event, and next Sunday seems to be the time that most people can get it done. So that's what we're going to do. Live stream next Sunday. As to what we do, we'll see what the state of the game is and what is going on. There's a couple of fun options. We could see how many people we could get into a contested zone and all die at the same time. We could do a couple of group runs on stuff. The other thing that I was thinking about is, given that these missions from Supply or Die are shareable and repeatable, even if you've completed the event, it might be quite good fun to see how many people and how many missions we can get running at the same time and how much money we can make in a couple of hours. I thought that might be quite good fun. So let's see. But we'll see what's happening on the day. All I will say, 9 p.m. UK time, so 9 p.m. UTC on Sunday, what you will have wanted to have done is make sure that you're on Discord, that you've signed up to the event that's going up immediately after the stream, and that you've got my username, so I can invite everyone and we'll get as many people in as we can to have a bit of fun with it. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you all there, because it's kind of my thank you to you, and having us all on stream should be quite good fun, and we'll go and do some random stuff. I might, which is kind of good fun, I might use that as the first option to go live on Twitch and start the DGP on Twitch side of YouTube, or of the channel, rather, and have that live as well. So that might be quite good fun to have us all going together. Good evening, Timble. Good to see you. So yes, we'll give it a go. So yeah, we'll see how that works. We'll see how that happens. But whatever happens, even if we have to kill the stream and just continue on, the priority will be a celebration of you guys as a live event in Star Citizen. The only thing you need to do to make sure you're involved is be in Discord. Link is in the description, and we'll get together. So looking forward to that. A couple of things to talk about this week. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is I wanted to talk about the Supply or Die event. 4.0.2 obviously dropped on Friday. So that brought with it the new side of the event and the ongoing storyline that we have. There's a whole bunch of stuff to talk about there, in terms of, not just in terms of what they've got going on, but also I realise that it's splashing colour off my face because I've got the video up and all the explosions, so every so often I just get lit by this orange glow. So we'll give that a minute. I want to watch the video because I haven't watched the Survive or Die trailer yet, so we'll have a quick watch of that as well. That should be quite good fun. And I also want to talk about the narrative. I was in Astropub's stream on Friday, and just I kind of engaged with him a little bit on there, and you know I really like Paul, get on really well with Paul, but we don't see that eye to eye. So it's not a streamer drama thing. It's literally just we're going to talk about it. Because, you know, there's a difference of opinion. And I think both have very good and valid points. So we'll talk about that as well. And then we are going to go on to the roadmap and the roadmap changes. There's been a video that I put out on Wednesday about that. But I think now that we've had a little bit more time to reflect, it'll be really interesting to get in that. I also, given how many people on that video said they knew nothing about Theatres of War, I thought it might be quite good fun to get into the Theatres of War conversation, have a look at that, and the assets that they are taking from that and putting into the game in the next patch, which is quite an interesting concept. So yes, daylight saving sneaks up on you like someone waiting to issue a subpoena. Drop yogurt. So that's oddly specific, mate. Is there something you want to share with the group? Is there? Sorry, I'm outing you on that. Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh, so you mean we were just lab rats, Stakargood? Yeah, absolutely. That's like, did you not know? Is that like you just? I'm just going to test things on you, and you know, let's see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? Nothing bad ever happens in labs, right? So yeah, that. Oh god, I'm gonna get banned. It's gonna be fun. Okay, so I guess the first thing that we can have a look at, like, why don't we start off with, I'm now frantically clicking and changing stuff around in the background because, of course, I was doing really well preparing this and then took far too long kind of relaxing and eating this evening. One of the interesting things that I will say about the event that's happening at the moment, if you did not complete Fight for Pyro, it's fine, it's still going, confirmed, because I was on 3 of 6 of Phase 2 as of today. Thank you very much to Jamlak and to Sol and to Dell. I'm now completed Phase 3. So I'm completely, I've got the skins and the gun, so you can still get it, and they did say, given all the problems that we've had with 4.0 and 4.0.1, the overlap is happening, so it's still running, so there's still plenty of time to get stuck. And if you want help, be in the Discord, just put in SC chat that you want some help. People will be more than happy to help you. That's why we're here, right? So let's have a very quick look. I'm just going to see if I can find it. Oh my god, good lord, it's got to stop doing that. Everything's on dark mode, and then when it loads something up, it's like, wait, and it just doesn't need to. It doesn't need to do that at all. Okay, let's have a look. Do you know, after all of that, I got really excited because there was a Nuke's Top 5 video, and then I didn't watch it because I got caught up watching Designated Survivor with my food and completely forgot what I was doing with my life. So yeah, that went well. Oops. But let's have a quick look. I'm just going to load this. Oh my god. Well, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to click on the right thing, and then I'm going to load it up. So let's have a quick look at Supply or Die. I'm going to make sure you've got some desktop audio on in just a second. Play with some volume levels so you don't get loaded out too much. And I'm not going to lie, the very first part of this looks very much like the previous Fight for Pyro video, but let's jump across and... There we go. Okay, quick watch of this then.
Frontier fighters are the slicers. What? Help. Fight. I know what I'm gonna do.
Man, that last bit was rough. Like that headshot right at the end was yeah, that end shot literally. Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's the end of the video. For multiple reasons. Yeah, really cool. Like that a lot. There's a couple of things that I like in this, that I really like in this, and it's got a lot to do with it's not just combat anymore. You know, you're not going, oh, industrial players forced to do combat or combat players forced to do industrial. There's a mix of both, and that's really nice to see that happen. You know, and let people go, here's a mission, you can contribute to it in your own way, and that's kind of cool. Apteryx, good evening, good to see you. There's a couple of people. Tech, good to see you, buddy. Jedi Drifter, lots of faces. Good to see you all back in the chat. Welcome in. So yeah, Matty says content fodder. What else have we got here? Give into the darkness. Glad I sided with headhunters, says Shadow Girl. If you're doing supply or die for the rewards, it's simply more beneficial to do the small missions than medium or large. Says Drop Yogurt. Good to know. Thank you very much for that. The one thing missing from the video is the queues at the commodity terminal, said Mad. Well, they did say that there's the other way to do it is you go out and resource. And I think that's... Like, I actually quite like that that's there, right? And this is why some gamers are going to really struggle with Star Citizen. So, the people who complain about getting griefed all the time when they mine are the people who are being typical gamers. The shortest route possible from A to B, get there, be as quick as possible, repeat as many times per hour as they can, right? The problem with that is when they do that, rather than fly down to the planet manually, they're quantuming down to the planet, and they do that near a mining site, because mining, and you think, well, if I'm going to catch these people as a pirate or a griefer, where do you think I'm going to wait for them? Like, it's silly, and it's the same thing with this. So the idea of going out and doing things yourselves being more beneficial sometimes, like I like that idea. You know, I think that's the thing. There's more than one way, because when you think when Quanta comes in for real, and this is kind of like a player and NPC moving economy, like they're going to run out of tin so quick. So the idea of other people, you know, which is really cool, because now it's going to be a case of, okay, well, I'm going to make crap tons of money, because in that system they need tin and they need ice. I've got like stacks of it 7 systems away, so I'm going to get my Hully, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to offload everything at that station, and I'm going to sell it for a premium, because they're going to be buying it at the station for more, because demand has spiked, and then everyone's going to buy that. So there's this whole supply chain that plays out. Of course, right now, it doesn't quite work like that. And the lack of a reliable means of trading between players means that we can't even put that together. The best that you could do is like agree something in chat and have people buy it off you, meet you somewhere, and then that brings in all sorts of risks with pirates and being attacked and double crossed and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, there's that. Headhunters for life, says Drop Yogurt. They've missed out, yeah, heroically clearing at the Magnus commodity terminals, says Tech. Frontier fighters were framed as claims as Zavath. Do you know what, mate? I don't think they were. I think the clues were there from the beginning. Not saying that I knew what was coming, but just the fact that they wanted to kill everybody, like, was that not a clue? No? Okay, fine. Maybe not them. Can you show the rewards that we're supposed to get for this latest phase, says should I go? Of course we can. We can jump back across. Okay, cool. So, Frontier Fakers, it says here, the Stanza system has been left in political and emotional turmoil this week after a shocking revelation of the Slicer's true identity. The terrorist gang, responsible for last year's devastating pirate attacks and the deaths of thousands of citizens, have been newly identified as the Frontier Fighters, looking at you, Edison, an extremist faction known for their militaristic values and anti-pyro rhetoric. So, and we'll come on to the story in just a second. Basically, what they're saying now is we no longer align with the Frontier Fighters, you align with one of the others, so Citizens for Prosperity or the Headhunters. And, you know, you can either choose to fight back militaristically, but basically there's a bunch of supplies that they need. The Headhunters can use it one way, the CFP can use it the other, and that's like the supply runs. It's stuff like they need the copper, they need the dry ice, they need or the ice, they need the reclaimed materials. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do. Doing those missions basically gets you tickets, and then the tickets get you these rewards. I'm going to grab my camera and get out of the way because someone's going to complain that they want to know what the prospector paint looks like, and I'm completely in the way. So let's shift me over here. Ta-da! Magical floating badges. There's a thing. So yeah, so some really kind of cool graffiti style paints. And basically the more tickets you get, the more you can buy, and you can just rinse and repeat this. But tier 1 is this little diorama that's between the prospector and the fortune. So it's that little, it's hanger flare basically. So it's that thing. You also get the Outcast twin shotgun, which is between the prospector and the vulture. And then tier 3 is the Outcast paint for all of them. And I really like that. That's kind of cool. I don't know why I'm pointing with this hand. It's this hand. I'm always getting that wrong. I think this is really cool. So there you go. Oh my god, I'm useless. So there's that. So we can have a look as well at the supply or die spectrum post, which I think is now the next one. Yeah, there we go. I will zoom in just a second. There we go. Funnily enough, I nicked this for the thumbnail. I'm sure you've noticed. But yeah. So Frontier Fighters set the whole thing up in effect. We need to resupply now with a whole bunch of stuff. Blah, blah, blah. And these are the missions. So as I talk, right, I'm just going to let you, because you don't need me to read everything out, especially not in a Chad British accent that I just put on there. It's like, following the brutal attack on Pyro, hello and welcome to the BBC. Following the brutal attack on Pyro and our efforts to combat the vigilante group, the Frontier Fighters, our strategic reserves across this. Do you see what I mean? It's just annoying. Like, I don't need to do that. I just don't. So, I won't. But yeah, so a few missions, and then I'll leave this on the screen for a couple of seconds, and I'll scroll down and see the next ones. So yeah, so I've been mining and stockpiling at the same time, says Teapot. Nice. I think the small rewards calculated out to be more in total over the multiple missions, like 10 missions, says Del Kenobi. So that's doing the small versus the medium or large missions. It's a quantity thing of the same materials, is my understanding. 14 small missions to get the paints, but it only took a few of us grinding one day, said Drop Yogurt. Yeah, absolutely. Reward picks is in the thread I linked above. Yeah, so I don't know if the link came through, but we've just seen it, right? I can go back to it if people want me to. So yeah, the paints aren't bad for but just for Vulture, Prospector, and Fortune. Yeah, and that's kind of interesting. I think we've seen a lot of like combat-based paints for a while. I don't know what happened to the other graffiti ones that were supposed to come out around IAE. I think they were sub-only for a while, but they're kind of really interesting as well. I might just for a month sub just to buy them and then drop it again. But yeah, Apteryx Game says, the latest round of complaints have reinforced my opinion that the Bilal portion of the player base will do anything to avoid actually playing the game. Yeah, don't disagree for a second. We tried to get some Detatrine, but it's next to impossible with every sweat lord hanging around the depots. Yeah, I don't... So, yeah, so you basically got these ways of doing... So the Detatrine, you've got to go down to supply depots and nick it, and then you get, obviously, because people are going to go there, buy it with their own money, you get a lot of PvP of people legitimately going down and going, right, we're going to ambush people, we're going to nick their stuff, because it takes a lot of capital up front to buy all this, and then we're going to steal it and hand it in ourselves. And whether people like it or not, that's legit gameplay. And then you get the people who just go, I don't care, I'm just going to yeet size 10 torpedoes down there and just blow everything up for giggles, because it's really funny to watch everyone else lose their money, but then I'm going to cry like a baby when someone makes my torpedoes expensive to buy. I left my mug downstairs, didn't I? Yeah, I've got the, I'll tell you what, from my cup of coffee I had earlier, right, I got a message for you. All right, it's not quite as rude as the other one, but if you are triggered by what I've said, wah, wah. There you go. Okay. Nobody cares. Oh god, I'm gonna get a reputation as the anti-PvP YouTube guy, aren't I? Shit. 800 tickets gets you the hanger flare. 1800 the shotgun. 2800 gets you the paints. So yeah, yeah, great, absolutely. Shadowgas says I don't really want any of those things. Yeah, I'd figured that the graffiti thing might not be quite yours, Shadowgal. I get that. Man, not for me, says John Chavez. Hello, buddy. You don't spend the points, you just get them. Okay, so you're not spending them, you're just at these points, you've now opened up the access to this. That's cool. You also get gobs of cash, says Teapot. Yeah, so Jamlak was talking earlier, and he was saying that he started it on 18 million. He's now on something like 83. Which is fun, because all the idiots that are selling AUEC for real money are going to cry about it, because now everyone can make shit tons of money and they can't do a thing about it. So, wop wop. Long live roleplay, says Tagaragod. Skins I dislike for ships I dislike, why bother? I mean, you could always, John, try playing the game because you enjoy it? Question mark? Sorry, I know that was a bit sharp. I don't mean to be like that, but I get that. Like, the beautiful thing about this is everything else that happens, loads of people are going to be chasing this down, right? So if you like doing the Ghost Hollow credits mission, for example, the chances are much fewer people are going to be doing that because everyone's sweat lording this. So, there's loads of options to go and do the other stuff, which is kind of cool. So yeah. Payouts get divided. Yeah, absolutely. And they talked about, so last week they did or I guess this week, they did the Inside Star Citizen, and they were kind of, I guess, a little bit kind of, what's the word that I would say, cocky, arrogant about what they've achieved. But, whatever. And yeah, it was one of those things that they said that they were going to change mission payouts in the future to be a payout for everyone. Which is kind of interesting, right? Because it can be abused. So what you do is as an org, you take a mission that can be completed by one person for 40,000 credits, right? And what you do is you do 20 of you doing it, right? And you just share them. So you share your mission, despite the fact that everyone's doing it, and you go and do 20 missions with 20 people, all shared between each other. I'm being a bit facetious, but you'll get the point, right? Is that 20 times 40,000 credits is 800,000 credits. Times 20, because you've just done that 20 times. Like, the ability for large orgs to abuse that and just be able to buy every ship in the game for everyone. And I know that they'll probably fix it, and the problem is if they bring it in its current form, what will come down the pike will be another asset wipe for everyone, and everything that you don't own will get wiped, and then people will whinge. So hopefully they implement this in the right way, but we'll see. Hello, Synthetic, good to see you, bud. Luna Maria, good to see you. Stunner, good to see you, bud. Long time no see. Just because we've had a few more people in now, I just want to repeat what I said right at the beginning. As I scroll down and show you the next set of missions, is that next Sunday, so this time next week, be around, let's say, somewhere up to an hour before. Join the Discord. Come on, because we have a thank you to you guys. 3,000 subs. Incredibly proud, incredibly humbled by you guys. So, as a thank you, let's all get together, do something in-game, whether we flood a contested zone and make other people cry, whether we go and do loads of these missions and make loads of money, don't care. We could do a combination of all. But let's get together, let's play some games, and let's see where it takes us. So yeah, all you've got to do is 8 p.m. UK time next week, any time from there up to 9, and then we'll launch the event. We'll get everyone together, be in the Discord, because then I can send you all invites. But yeah, it'll be lovely to see you all there. So yeah, Dexatrine is volatile. Is it dropped? Okay, that's worth bearing in mind. Synthetic says, "Hey badges, salvage or mining I found to be more enjoyable than standing in a post office queue." Yeah, it seems a lot like that. I was listening to people today trying to get that material out of places. It's almost like it's going to be more useful to do it themselves, as you are. So yeah, 100%. LOL RP does not mean roleplay, it means receive pronunciation, you silly badger, says Stack. I refuse to believe that. It's roleplay. So there. Shush, noob. Did some peaceful rock had night mining recently. How was that, Shadow? Did you find out that did you find a lot of griefing, or was that just kind of easy way to make money? Polaris owners beware. One Gladiator straight into the cockpit will destroy the ship instantly, says dropped. Oh dear. Well, yep, that's that. At the start of that, Star Citizen Vib gave me the Principal Skinner, "Am I out of touch? No, it is the kids that are out of touch" vibes. Yeah, so that was the intro to ISC, wasn't it? Has everyone seen it? Is it worth watching parts of that again? I'm not suggesting for a second we watch the whole thing. But that's kind of the next thing what we're going to go on to. Is that useful? Is that not? Like, I don't know. Yeah, there's your. So yeah. Sergio says, "Went great, no griefing, made 375,000 in one run, mine like 3 groups of Had Night Rocks." Cool. And that's in the Rock, is it? Nice. So the Rock has a place. I don't know what it is to buy at the minute. In game, but it can't be that much. I mean, though, like phase 2 is crazy. The ship combat one is like 675,000, and I think the Nurser at the moment is only 200,000, something like that. So yeah, you can get a lot of vehicles very very quickly with that, which is cool. But yeah, so that's that stuff. I love it. Killer Cram, the very first comment. Are we not still allowed to choose the front of photos? Can we not be terrorists? Like, no, is that not a thing? Yeah, the bad guys, but adds variety and fun. Why not be crazy murder hobos bent on killing everyone? I mean, if I was going to answer that, I'd say because you can be a murder hobo in everything anyway. You don't need to be aligned to a faction to be a murder hobo. So, yeah. So, yeah. Never mind. I'm looking forward to the DS rework, says Stakara Cord, although don't see how it will improve. I don't know. I don't know. I did buy like 1,000 SCU of tin today. Don't know if I can mine 100 SCU of tin in 3 hours. Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, it's also the amount of time you're going to spend there. Can you buy that? Will you get there? Are there people just AFKing at the terminals? Like, what? So, yeah. If you're lucky enough, then great. If you're not, then there are better ways than standing in, as someone put it, a post office queue. So yeah. So what was really interesting about this, no one's actually answered, so I guess I won't bring the ISC stream up unless people want me to, is one of the arguments was that that CIG were a little bit arrogant about how they put it across. It was almost like a "you should have known" sort of mentality. Because, for those that aren't aware, there was supposed to be some semblance in the colours between Slicers and the Freedom Fighters, which I think would have helped if there was much Freedom Fighter armour lying around. I mean, I called them a bunch of times, and they just looked like every other bunch of bad guys I've ever killed in this game. It was the dust-up helmet and the... Like, it didn't look... They didn't look particularly different. They weren't unique as far... Excuse me, as far as I was concerned. They just look like another bunch of generic bad guys. You know, you look like the CFP. You know what the CFP guys look like because they look like, you know, they've cobbled their kit together from, they basically stole it out of a classroom or something. And then Headhunters have their own visual style and they're very cool. But I do feel like the Frontier Fighters were a little bit rushed. Xenothreat as well. Yeah, Stack, exactly. Xenothreat are very much a unique faction. They've got the cool armor, they've got the logo, and they've got their own, just like Ninetales have. Ninetales are very distinctive. So yeah, there's that. So people said that, you know, it was a bit arrogant. Now, they had created a couple of other ways that you could tell, and apparently there were I almost said data slates then. That's 40k. Why am I talking 40k in Star Citizen? There were tablets lying around that had some information on it that seemed to indicate that, and I think there were a couple of other things as well that might have given it away. The problem, of course, with 4.0.1 has been that it was so broken that this stuff either wasn't spawning, it was falling through the floor, you couldn't read it when you picked it up, you couldn't pick it up, it went into your inventory, you couldn't put it in your hands. Like there were so many things wrong with it that most people just, it wasn't that they tried, they just given up at that point. They were like, I'm just going to do the missions. I run around, I shoot stuff, I move on to the next place. Maybe I try and loot. And that was that. Data slate sounds cooler than tablet, says Shadow Go. Yeah, absolutely. Xeno threat armor can be found at CFP locations, which would be weird, unless they work with them or are them. Yeah, or I mean, it's like there's scorch stuff all over Stanton now. So yesterday I played a little bit of 4.0.2 in Stanton to see how its effective stability outside of Pyro, and we'll get on to the results of that in a second. But long story short, I found loads of scorched weapon attachments in normal underground bunkers. So yeah, like the loots just seems to be going mental. So yeah, data slate sounds cooler than tablet. It does. So yeah, so I think a lot of people just didn't bother looking, and then it's like CIG seemed to have a little bit of an attitude like, haha, we gave you the clues, you didn't work it out. It's like, no, because your game doesn't work. It's like, if we're going to get arrogant and we're going to get spicy at each other, your game does not work. And we can't get... Sorry, I'm just going to move that across because I think I've got some... I need to put normal removal back in. So yeah. It was a little bit frustrating, I think, for people. And then for them to act like it was a big narrative thing. Now, I'm kind of glad that they're putting in narrative things that aren't straightforward, that are a little bit, you've got to think about what you're doing, that the choice isn't just about what loot you want and what skins you want at the end of it. It's a little bit more about, okay, well, who do you want to be in the verse? The problem is that it's not enough that way. So right now, the guys who are regularly in Discord will be able to tell you, it took me forever to choose what faction that I wanted to be, because I was torn between, do I want to do like a little bit of a role play thing and do the faction that I'd be most happy with within the verse, or do I want to go for the skins? If I'd gone for skins, I probably would have ended up Frontier Fighters. I didn't. I went CFP because I was a little bit like, well, do you know what? That's kind of maybe how I play in the game while I'm on my own. So yeah, I'm not a murder hobo. I'm the opposite of a murder hobo in game. It's not a Care Bear. We're still quite happy to kill people. In fact, today we landed a Polaris. We were doing an outpost mission, and we left one of the ramps open, and someone in a C2 came down and tried to gain access to the ship, and he didn't get more than 30 meters before Sol and I dropped him. So yes, nope. And the guy didn't even have a gun out, but you try and get on our ship, we kill you. So yeah, CFP and proud of it, says Stack. Yeah, absolutely. So here he'll work for CFP, time to come clean. That. So yeah, that. Jadomo says, I was CFP, but I can't get their missions now, so changing to headhunters. Yes, you've got to be a little bit careful. If you do a stack of missions for a faction that aren't yours, you can actually end up changing factions, as Jadomo did. He did a bunch of headhunter stuff with Jamlack, and changed over. So that. So I'm not a murder hobo, I'm a murder homeowner. I don't know. So, yeah, it's upset a lot of people. And what was really interesting is I went onto the Astropub stream, and he was talking about this. And I don't watch huge amounts of Paul, but I don't think I've ever seen him that wound up about something. He was very, very anti what was going on. And I agree with him to an extent. I agree with him that what we want are decisions that are meaningful. You kind of want to think it through. I'm not talking like Witcher levels of deception, but I'm talking, have a think about what you want to do and the ramifications of the verse. Agree with him on that. And there are better ways to tell stories. The mechanics didn't work. People couldn't figure it out for themselves. If you're going to put something in the game that people can figure out for themselves if they think to look, you have to reward them when they look. Otherwise, why would you keep doing it? It's like now, like no one's running around the bunkers looking for lore because for ages there's been no lore in the bunkers. It's just do the bunker, get the credits, get the loot, leave, rinse and repeat. If you have to reward that, otherwise people stop doing it. If you don't reward a behavior in game, it kind of stops, right? Whether it's rewarded through mechanics or some conscious effort through on the dev's part. So I agree with him to a point. However, I think that even so, and there are probably some of you in chat right now thinking this, even if they made it a moral choice, you don't care because it's the skins. Show of hands. Just give us a me, whatever war cry. Give us a salute, right? An 07. If you don't care about what the story is, you're just going to go for the best skins and the best loot. Because I have a feeling there's going to be a couple of 07s. Right? And this is the thing, is that, what Paul talked about was, there you go, that they've started. 07, if you don't care about what faction you go for, other than what loot and skins it can give you. 08 says synthetic. Okay, always got to go one better, synthetic. Always got to go one better. Stove S, good evening, welcome in. I would go with CFP unless CFP skins are awful and other skins are amazing. Exactly that. And he kind of mentioned World of Warcraft and the Alliance and the Horde. And I think that's slightly different, right? Because they're not temporary factions you align with while you're doing something. They're part of character creation and they control what races you were. The better comparison would be during Shadowlands there were 4 factions. And no one that I know of ever aligned with any of those factions because of the lore. It was all the cosmetics. It was how do they look, what's the best gear to get best in slot, that. And that was as far as they went down the hole of trying to choose what they wanted. And that's where we are in the game at the minute, because the rep system isn't fully fleshed out. It doesn't really have an effect. When it does have an effect, it's questionable because it relies on the AI working and the systems recognizing you, the AI actually spawning in, stuff not falling through the floor. So I don't think it works quite like that. But yeah. Luna Maria says, after years of seeing game communities solving genius level in game mysteries and MMOs, if the entire community missed the twist, CIG did it wrong. Correct. 100%. Had a rat trying to get into my hangar, said my teapot. I dropped him before he could think, and he'd stopped thinking. I assume after that. Good. That's what we like. Shadow Go, you did on Friday when you took that mission payout. For the CFP. Oh, Shadow Girl. Someone else is working for the CFP. Told you. You've been outed on stream. Like putting trash into the trash cans. No reward means tossing my can on the floor. Yeah. Shadow Girl will laugh at me a lot because I spend a lot of time in stations when I'm waiting for like ships to claim and that. Running around putting stuff in bins. Clean freak. I hate it. Hate running around in trash. But yeah. So 07 stupid phone says synthetic. Phone. Edison says it's hard to care about the story if the story is not told good. Yeah, 100%. If you don't have a decent vehicle for telling a story. And what annoys me about this, and I keep going back to this mission, it's my favourite mission in this entire effing game. Siege of Origin a close second. Right, Siege of Origin is just a great mission. Why they don't run that again is beyond me. Can you imagine Siege of Origin with the AI as it is now? On server meshing. Like, oh my god, that's going to completely change how Siege of Origin runs. Please, CIG, if anyone sees this, for the love of God, run Siege of Origin again. Please. I'll love you a long time. I'll buy a new ship, alright? There you go. I'll buy a new ship. Brogad, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. So can you imagine that sort of stuff if it was told well? But my favourite story is the PI Wanted in Crusader, where you go to Kovalek Station Gundo, which has been blown up by an internal error. And you go there at request of basically there was an engineer who was supposed to do something he didn't, according to the official reports. The station power generator overloaded, kill a bunch of people. His now widow contacts you to go and find out what actually happened. And what's great is not only is everything told through audio recordings and emails on computers and all this sort of stuff, and this is in the game. It's been in the game for years. right? This has been in the game probably going on 6 years now, right? Not only do you have all these audio recordings and like this evidence around, because they talk about things drinking, and as you're flying around, you're like, holy yeah, and there's bottles of what they would say they were drinking floating past. It's really, really cleverly done. Not only that, you stop when you think you've got enough. So when you think you've got an answer, you choose when to end the mission. And depending on the answer you comes up with, debate, changes the reward and the outcome and the way she contacts you and what she says when she talks to you. It's brilliant. That is good storytelling. This is not. And I get it. They've got to work within the confines of what they have. What bothers me is they can do very good things within the confines of what they have. And this isn't it, necessarily. So yeah, it's just me, Chill. Good evening, bud. Good. I didn't see you sneak in. And Soriak, hello. So good to see you both. Sorry that I've taken a little while to say hello, but good to see you. StoS says, oh no, sorry, I got your comment. I did catch your comment. Soriak says, storytelling is linked to character development, but there's absolutely no notable development with character right now. Yeah, it certainly can be, absolutely. But that way of stumbling on missions and stumbling on stuff, I really like that. One of the things that I'm really looking forward to within Star Citizen, when Starchitect finally lands, however many years now that'll be in the future, being able to go to a location and go, hey, this looks like a kind of mining location, and then being able to expect and then find different outposts around, like a mining site, like a refinery, an area for storing the ore, like a transport hub to lift it up and take it off to wherever it's going. All that sort of stuff, those little kind of outposts, derelict stations and things, that's going to be where I play the game, unless they radically change the way they tell these stories. It's got to get much better. So yeah. Matthew, good evening. Rewards versus task to gain the reward. If it was a good versus murder hobo, then I'd likely either skip or go the good path. Okay, that's in answer to what side would you choose? Fair enough. Because the story isn't, yeah, the rest says it's just me, Chill. So that's again another answer to what would you choose, the story or the rewards. Being a headhunter is really kind of liberating, says Drop Yogurt. Yeah, I mean, I must admit, when I got into this, I thought it was really obvious that the headhunters were going to come out on top. Because if freedom fighters had come out on top, it makes it a legal system. If CFP comes out on top, maybe it can stay the way it is. But if headhunters comes out on top, then Pyro stays gang-infested wasteland. And obviously that's what that system is. So for me, it was always obvious that the headhunters were going to come out on this. More to the point that freedom fighters weren't going to achieve purging Pyro and turning it lawful, right? I had no idea they were going to turn out to be the people that had engineered the whole thing. But it's clear that Pyro was never going lawful, because even at Sitcom they said that there's going to be two lawless systems, Nyx and Pyro. So yeah, Xeno Threatens Invasion was fun as a narrative, says Synthetic, because it was built up all from the Port Olisar propaganda video on screens. That was really interesting, and I think they could do some incredibly cool stuff with the Vanduul. If they want to know how to bring the Vanduul in, they need to look at Eve, and not Eve, Elite, and I forget what the race is called. But when they first started bringing this incredible race, basically it was like these ships that look like flowers is the only way that I can describe them. Someone's going to tell me the name in chat in a second. Thargoids, thank you, Mad Teapot. They were shutting ships down. So you'd be flying through space, and all of a sudden your ship would power down, and you could do nothing about it. And then there was this sound, and then the ship would kind of fly over the top, turn around and face you, scan you with this laser, and then back off again. And it was just this incredible, like, oh my god, what is this? And that's how they introduced it to the verse. That was how players started to experience this. And then, of course, players would group up and try and go and find them, but it was an incredibly rare thing. It was appearing on, like, YouTube because people were like, oh my god, I met a Thargoid ship. It's, like, such a cool way of doing it, and maybe that's going to be it with Vanduul. All of a sudden, when they start introducing this stuff, players are just going to come under attack by a bunch of Vanduul raiders. And like, it's going to be a proper scary, oh my god, raiders. Like, almost like the, in Firefly, I forget what they're called. God, my brain is not working today. But you know who I mean. Reavers. Reavers. I got there before anyone said it. You know, it's like the Reavers. It's like the really scary. Oh my god, we're all going to die. But yeah, Prison Caterpillar was great. Was my all-time favorite mission. So synthetic. Yeah, it's a really good one as well. Servers are a total mess, says Brogade. Yeah, the servers are not having a good time of it at the minute. I mean, they're doing better than they have been under server. I'll go back on that. So the AI, the FPS, the server FPS and the AI seem to be doing so much better now. Going to especially like the remote asteroid bases, they no longer just stand there when you kill them. They no longer, or they don't seem to, in my experience, wait for you to run up and kill them. They dig in, they entrench, they run around, they respond. Not just that, they respond to new angles of fire, so we catch the AI in crossfire. Some of them swing round to the new target. Like, that's going much better, but the servers are struggling, and there seems to be like a deterioration issue that they have, which is why they've implemented these server maintenance windows to try and fix things. And obviously, hopefully, with later on, they can do much later on, they can do these cleanup scripts that take out some of the stuff, drop magazines, empty food and water bowls, the stuff that no one needs, that's not going to be salvaged, any of that nonsense, the bodies, the weapons that are lying around. They can do stuff to clean up that doesn't affect the feeling of things being persistent. But yeah. I did CFP for the skin, says Teapot, but then went Headhunters after that. Makes a good disguise when landing near a CFP location for a bit. Teapot, you're a scary individual, buddy. Matthew says, one thing I did miss from old school WoW, when bored, being able to boost others through dungeons. I think the leveling system is not going to be boosting here so much, but certainly bringing new players into the game and getting them to understand and showing this off. One of the things I enjoy in this game more than anything else at all is getting people in and showing them the game, having them experience it for the first time. Because it's very quickly easy to get pissed off with the game, and rightfully so, right? But you lose sight of what we're actually here for sometimes. And what's really cool is to watch new players come in and go, oh, like it's not there yet, but I can see where this game is going. I can see the scope. I can see what they're aiming for. And almost without fail, it blows people away. So yeah. Destroy, hello. If I haven't said hello already, I don't know where I am anymore. Where are we? Langton Industries, good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. Yeah, so going back up. PI mission is great. So should I go? Dropped. Give it a go. Seriously. Get yourself to Crusader, because that's where it happens, in the Crusader Gravity Well. PI wanted. Honestly, it's going to scare the crap out of you, because you'll pick it up and you'll get audio. You'll get voice acting and all that sort of stuff, and we're just so not used to it unless there's a dynamic event on. It's really good. And going around the station is actually kind of creepy. I was going around and I didn't realize, I forgot I was in Discord, and someone jumped in to spook me and just went giraffe at the wrong reason, and I proper it was great, honestly. I hate my friends. But yeah. So Texas Zero says PI mission used to have alternate outcomes as well, depending on how far you followed it. Yeah, exactly that. That's what it was. Brogad says, what's your opinion on server status? Why CRG doesn't get good servers? So yeah, Brogad, it's not the servers. So it's not the server hardware, is what I'd say. It's the quality of the servers is the quality issue is the programming they currently have on the back end. They have only just switched to server meshing, and what they're doing now is they're realizing persistent universe is one thing, having ships break down and you being able to find the wreckage and salvage it. The problem is that is obviously not happening everywhere. So I did a lot of bunkers yesterday, and what I found was everyone, there were 2 or 3 ships just abandoned. Those are full-scale entities that are just being left there. And they are, they're in there all the time. So that's another set of entities. Because that ship isn't one entity. That ship is a group of entities, and it's a lot of entities, right? So that's being constantly monitored by the server, as if every other ship that's being left behind. Everywhere you go. Outside of stations just being left there. And that's why they've talked about wanting to have people go and get their ships back rather than just claiming them. Because people at the moment, your ships are disposable. We had it today. We were playing. Oh, I'll just claim a ship. It'll be fine. You know, and this is no ship. This is a Polaris. Right? Just claim it. It'll be fine. Ships are seen as disposable right now. So because there's, you know, everyone gets everything back. No matter what you've bought, you get it back straight away. That's going to change, but it's not changed yet. So the servers are struggling under the weight. I'm not trying to say for a second the servers are in a good place, but we need to bear in mind that 4.0, this patch, is the first time we've had server meshing fully implemented. It's the first time we've had one game split up into 9 different servers. So this isn't like you change servers like World of Warcraft. You know, you go into a dungeon, you jump into another server to do that instance, you come back again. That's what the loading screen is. This is 9 servers, and you can jump servers without even realizing it. There's no indication. It's the first time it's happened on a game of this scale. I think it's the first time it's basically happened at all in a game, right? Server meshing happens all the time in industrial applications, but not for games. So you can be on one server and shoot at someone in another server in real time. Theoretically, there's no limit to how far they can take that. It's how much infrastructure they can put in place to make that work. So long story short, it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough for a while. It's not something that they're going to fix straight away, but there will be, especially hopefully if they do actually end up focusing on stability this year, it will get better gradually, and it will become the point where no other game can hold a candle to it because of the scale of what you can achieve. So bear with us. Bear with it. We'll get there. Langton interestingly says 4.0.2 is even worse for me. I can't use my inventory, can't eat or drink. Half of the elevators open into abyss. Yeah, it's a shame. So I found that the elevators are working much better now. Or if they open into abyss, for some reason the doors have started opening like before you get there. So you just see this void, you're like seeing through the planet or whatever. Just give it a second when the doors shut again, and hopefully they'll open in the right place. But if it is working, and I don't doubt that it's not working for you, you know, I'm sorry to hear that. It's, you know, rough experiences are a part of the Star Citizen gaming experience, and will be for the foreseeable future. It's just that's what it is, right? So, you know, I'm not saying that makes it right, Langton, not at all, right? It's shit to have a rough time of it, but you know, just bear with it. You'll get there, right? It will get better slowly. Luna Maria says, my first Thargoid encounter like that solidified Elite as my favourite game ever. Luna, I can only imagine. I bet that was incredible. Those experiences just, they make gaming, right? I would imagine if someone says to you, why do you game? That experience is probably one of the first things that jumps into your mind. And why wouldn't it? You know, I remember that one of my favourite gaming experiences was back in PlanetSide, the original PlanetSide, playing with a group of friends. We got ourselves into the basement of a base and we were holding it off. And we had medics and we started running out of ammo, we started running out of med kits, and then we lost our last medic. And there was just this shrinking circle of us holding off like 4 times our number, but then they really started pushing through. And through TeamSpeak, someone just started playing Barber's Adagio for strings, right? The platoon music. And then everyone just started turning into voice actors. It was the whole, tell my wife I love her, and all this. And honestly, I was playing through tears of laughter. I just laughing so hard. And I've never failed at trying to do something in a game so spectacularly successfully. That is absolutely one of my highlight gaming experiences ever. It's those moments when you experience something like that just make gaming for you. So yeah, absolutely. PlanetSide was lit, says Drop Yoga. I'm glad people remember it. PlanetSide was incredible. So yeah, that's really cool. I did an MT bunker, and every NPC down there decided to push me at the entrance all at once. Microtech bunker. Said Mad, yeah, they are aggressive now. They're getting really smart. It's getting a little bit scary. Like I now have to think twice about doing bunkers on my own. I mean, I do them, but I want to make sure I got kit. I used to run down there with a knife and just sprint around and stab everyone. Can't do that anymore. You'll get your lights punched, you know. So yeah. when I did the investigation mission, I was constantly on edge, expecting to get ambushes, Matthew. Yeah, from players or AI, but it's absolute. It's suspenseful for an empty station. It is suspenseful. 36 views and only 15 thumbs up. So Sorek, people, you're sleeping, mate. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. The problem is you cannot just go back for your ship if you're not able to get back to the specific shard you were in before. So shall I go? Yeah, 100%. And this is what we're saying with all these persistent. I really like the idea of persistence, and it is Chris Roberts' line. I'm not parroting this because I can't think for myself. I like this idea. The idea that you crash down on a planet, you build yourself a little shelter, you survive there, you're then rescued, or you manage to, cobble something together and get to a rescue station and off you go. Being able to revisit that like 2.5 months later and find that and like the ruins of the camp and the fire pit that you dug, like that's so cool as an idea. Talk about leaving your mark in a video game. However, they've got to manage it. And obviously it can't go on forever and not everything can be persistent because the amount of entities that would require a server keeping track of, you'd run out of servers in the world before you could do that. So yeah, there obviously needs to be a balance to it. So yeah. I'm making wait, says Tech20. Let Badger earn your like. He'll appreciate it more when he gets it. I mean, I can do feet pics, Tech, if you want them. Just let me know on Discord. Send me a message formally requesting feet pics, and I will put them up on stream. I mean, I'll send you feet pics. Yeah. So that's it. Let him know one false move, and he's on his way to dislike town. Tech, I have one answer to that, my friend. It's all good. Jedi Drifter says we're still in the test phases. We are CIG space test monkeys until there's no more wipes. Yeah, 100%. This is a game that's going to be developed over a long haul, right? I mean it when I say we ain't getting Star Citizen in 1.0 to 2030 at least. Like, fight me. It's not happening. Even if you look at what they want to implement 1.0, right? We've got 6 years left. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Okay? Take the amount of features on there, divide that number by 6. That's how many features they've got to get in per year. And then discount this year completely, almost completely, because this year's supposed to be about stability. And we're going to come on to that in just a second. So yeah. First meeting the Flood, said John Chavez. Halo. Yeah, that was quite the moment, wasn't it? Absolutely. Elite is pretty shallow in some respects, but a lot of first-time moments in that game that are really cool. Loved playing it for so long. Yeah, 100%. I love one of the big things, and you've got Shadow Girl to thank for this. Is I got into Cyberpunk, but I got into it last year, and having got past all the bugs and the police acting, and I think almost everything in that game worked. I had a couple of crashes, but almost everything in that game worked right off the bat for me. All the missions completed, everything did what it needed to. That was incredible. That was a really good gaming experience. So yeah, it's these things that are good fun. Sounds like a skill issue, says Edison. Yep, just like choosing Frontier Fighters. Bunkers were easy peeps when the NPCs were still in the elevator aiming at the ceiling, says Dropped. And we all remember that, right? That's it. I can only see 3 likes, says Jodomo. Yeah, no, it's because everyone's unliked it now, so we've gone from 15 down to 3. And I get that. That's because I give people a middle finger. So yeah, sorry. Oh god. Stuff. I didn't mean to put my phone on the table, but you probably heard it vibrate. Sorry, that's my bad. I'll put that away now. I mean, I can't wait till we get armor in 2041. That's a bit optimistic. 2030, I may be somewhere else by then, said Jodomo. Yeah, me too, mate. But, whatever. Did not hear it. Well, that's good to know. Shady Phase, good evening. Finding out about the Reapers in Mass Effect. The switcheroo in Last of Us 2 blew me away, says Drop Yogurt. Yeah. Like, there are so many cool gaming moments and just things to have. I think that's the thing is sometimes I just have I still have them now in moments in Star Citizen where I look at what's on my screen and I can't believe we're playing that as a game. You know, one of the moments in the video that I made about going to Pyro for the first time was just awesome. I was flying vertically up from the planet, but the shot makes it look like the planet's like that, and I'm flying flat in the Polaris. And I had the clouds on photo mode and the colors. This was on Bloom, I think. Just, it's like nothing else. It really is. It just have those moments you go, I still can't believe this is a game. Voodoo. Physical or magical armor? Question mark. Hang on. What have I missed? Huh? I'm sure that's something that I've just said and then completely forgotten I've said. But physical? Yeah. Cyberpunk hidden storytelling is next level. Yeah, there was some of that. If you've never played it, I recommend people try the Stanley Parable, so shut a girl. Don't watch gameplay or you'll be spoiled. Yeah, according to your calculation, for SC to be mature, I'll be right on time to begin my retirement in space, says Sorek. It's, yeah, absolutely. So, the betrayal of your dwarf brother in Dragon Age Origin was like 30 minutes into the game and felt so heartfelt. Yeah, exactly that. There's... I think this game is going to have a lot of those moments as well. Like that moment that I went through the wormhole for the first time. That was something. Catching that on camera was really, really cool. I enjoyed that so much. You know, and I wanted to wait until it was in the game. I wanted to wait until they had the animations and everything else. The fact that they tied the music into that, just incredible. Really, really cool. Okay, so I've banged on the gaming experience thing to death. Let's have a look at our next bit of fun. Nope, that's not what I wanted to jump to. This is what I wanted to jump to, I think. No, it's not. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Let's go to that one. So, I think it's in general here. Where are we? There we go. Okay, the roadmap roundup. So we covered this a little bit in a video earlier on the week, but it's probably worth going through again in that they did a whole bunch of changes in this roadmap. So I'm going to do this first. I'm going to ask you all a question. Let's see what you guys think of this. So let's pop this up as a poll. How did you feel about the roadmap update? Okay. So if you're not sure, we'll talk about it now and then you can vote afterwards. So a whole bunch of stuff went in here. So the first part is we know that one of the things they want to do this year is they want to expand the story that they're telling. And that's going to be through more time-limited missions. It's going to be through more events and stuff, just like we're experiencing now. Okay. I'm not drinking alcohol. I've got an early start in the morning. So I am on the Pepsi Max. And because I deplore washing things up by hand, I'm drinking it from the bottle like a heathen. Sue me. So part of that, because they don't want to spoil the story, and following on from what we said about needing to tell the story better, is they're going to go away from everything just being in the mobiGlas. Of course, you'll still be able to track things through your mobiGlas, as you and I would hope you would be able to do. But what we're going to get now is we're going to get more mission givers. And if anyone remembers going to see the Miles Eckhart in Hurston, going to see Twitch Pateco in ArtCorp, going to see Clovis Darneely in... where was he? Grimhex. Grimhex? Grimhex. Where's Clovis? Where's Darneely? Was that Lorville as well? Oh, I don't remember. But that. It's just me chill. Dude, should be in the description. There's a Facebook page that I don't bother with anymore because Facebook. There's a website and there should be a a link down there. If not, I can pop one in chat. If it's not working, just let me know. In fact, you know what? I'll just do this. Yes, meeting one of the Hurstons at Hurston, 100%. Yeah, lots of different missions that you can go and do. I don't think Microtech got one, right? They didn't put a mission giver in Microtech, is that right? But I think this is going to say hidden use copy button because Discord's being funny. But I'll give it a go and see. You got it. Good. Fantastic. Lovely job. Good stuff. So yeah. So excuse me. So we're going to get a mission giver and a mission giver location, which is really cool. It's probably going to be in one of the current established locations, which makes sense because they're not going to add a whole bunch of locations just for a mission giver, so they'll make it into one of the new areas. They're talking about a sandbox activity, which is new open-ended sandbox activity blending on-foot exploration with aerial support, creating gameplay opportunities for daring teams. This could be a whole bunch of things. But we'll see. Obviously, the thing here, and the thing to bear in mind with all of this is being created within the confines of what we already have. Okay, so it will use existing systems. It's not going to be a new set of systems. Hopefully, they blend them together in new and interesting ways. And there are a lot of systems that they could use that they're not making full use of at the moment. But they are within that. There's also an armor set. Great. Don't know what that is, but it looks different. A rugged and stylish new armor set tailored for brave adventures facing new dangers. Great. And then space combat missions. A new set of ship combat missions featuring improved scenario design and refined storytelling. That's not in 1.0. Sorry, that's not in 4.1. That's in 4.1.x. So it won't be straight away. It'll be after that. 2 new weapons, these beam weapons, so the assault rifle and the submachine gun, start off firing rounds as normal, although it's energy weapons. And then as they build up to a certain heat, so you'll have to manage your heat with them, they become beam weapons. So I would imagine the shooting is going to be less powerful, the beam more so, to balance those out with the existing weapons. And then we have these 2 Hathor locations. So Hathor Mining Station and a Hathor Ground Alignment Station. And if you want a little bit, we'll have a look. Good evening, Voodoo. Just seen you in chat there. Welcome in. So yeah, there's a few things for them to work on. The first sunrise I saw on Daymar, so synthetic, was something I'll never forget. Absolutely. The view when you get outside of the C2 and you see the sun going down, it's unbelievable. Think no game I've seen that scenery. Yeah, especially in Crusader, being on planets and looking up and seeing the sun or the star, and then the like Crusader over the moon is just incredible. Bring back Tessa Spaceport, said, or Tessa, sorry, Tessa. Bring back Tessa, says Shady Face. Yeah, absolutely. Why do we have the same old missions? That's a kicker. Well, hopefully, Voodoo, these will change that. But Voodoo, the key thing here is that, like they've said, the focus for this year now is stability. So they're going to keep the systems that we have to enable them to make things more stable, and then they can start to build on that. Because what we found with, 3.23, 3.24, and 4.0, long before they started trying to put the server meshing code in, things were breaking really bad, and it was just getting progressively worse. So yeah, we're working on stability, I think, is a good thing. The thing that people have to understand is they can't do both. You work on stability or you work on new features, and that's that. Apteric says, Badger, did you see that Galactopedia entries for the Hathor group? TLDR, their mining practices are environmentally catastrophic, often resulting in cross-world contamination. Yeah, so we'll have a look at this now, which is this Hathor stuff. This is from Theatres of War. And just while we're talking, I'll see if I can find some of the stuff on Theatres of War. and how that works. There's a short videos on it. I've got to be careful because there was a documentary series called Theatres of War as well. So if you're not careful, that's what you get up. But let's click that. Here we go.
Keep you updated as we go. We'll watch each other's back and come home in one piece.
So I'm going to knock the volume down a bit, but this was a presentation at 2019 CitizenCon. We actually got to play this as well. Well, some of them did. So you can still see it's quite old. Even here, you can see like how much the game has come on. But yeah, so the idea here was Theatres of War was supposed to be this system where, this game mode, where you would play historically important events from the lore. So rather than just reading about it in an abstract sense, you'd actually get to play it. And a couple of us theorized that this might be is like a free mode they were going to throw in with Squadron to get people, like, it's like the free sample to get people hooked on Star Citizen, to show you everything that they could achieve in a small environment that didn't require access to the larger servers.
Alright, new plan. I think they're controlling it from that radar tower. I need all agents to focus on that.
So they're basically, this radar tower seems to be the alignment tower that or the alignment site that is mentioned, right? There are similarities, not 100%. The dish looks different, but this is the Hathor group. It's owned by the Hathor group, and basically, as Apteryx already said, the story was that this system only had one access and exit. So the UE military said, we're going to take it as a training ground. Then with funding issues, they went, well, what we're going to do is we're going to give a group rights to go in and go and like claim the resources. The Hathor group got that, but they're not a very ethically responsible company, right? So basically what happened was they went in, they strip mined it with these mining lasers controlled from ground alignment stations. So that's what's happening here. Basically, the Hathor group then left everything in place. A criminal group moved into the place, much like Pyro, got very entrenched.
All teams, redirecting you to take out that mining laser. Use ships or take it on foot. Whatever it takes. It's gotta go.
That. So basically what was happening now is that, you know, they're trying to get up there and take it over, and the group are defending it and all that sort of stuff. So the idea, these are multi-stage missions that players, PvP, all that sort of stuff. And this is the mining laser. Not saying that this is what it's going to look like now. Obviously, this is 5 years old. You know, 4.5 years old. But it gives you an idea of what they're after. Similar, it looks like, to the career station. Although what form it's in now, no clue. So yeah. And I think they're basically trying to use the laser to damage the planet. I forget what the whole story is. But the idea is that there were going to be a series of these, and they were all going to be based around these historically accurate to the Star Citizen lore stories. And that's how they were going to tell these parts of the story to players. So rather than just going, hey, there was a battle, and put it in a Galactopedia entry, they were actually going to be things that they would go, hey, there's a new battle on Theatres of War, go play it, and there were going to be briefings and all this sort of stuff. People actually got to play it there, and then, of course, it was like, hey, we're going to have it in your hands in 6 months. So that went well. But yeah, so it's a really interesting idea, because I think it's got utility in a bunch of different ways. The problem they had is when they played the demo, they did an ISC, I think, a little while afterwards, and there were some real technical issues behind it. And I think it's because they hadn't figured out how they were going to do server meshing and stuff. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, my bet for the sandbox activity, yeah, absolutely, Apteryx. Anyone come across the new Morozov helmets yet? Nobody I play with has come across any of them. Yes, there's the Morozov, and it's got like a an eyepiece that comes down. I think it's supposed to be Frontier Fighters gear, but it's like an eyepiece that comes over that. You know. So, so there's supposed to be some new ones, not just same with colours. So yes, so there is. I'll see if I can find it. I'll just jump us back across so I don't do anything stupid on my screen. But I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can find the picture. Frontier Fighters Star Citizen, and then I'll end the poll and see what you guys think as well. Oh my god, I thought I had this on dark mode. If anyone's got a photo and can link it to me in Discord for the one that I'm thinking of, do you know the one that I'm thinking of? It's a group of the Frontier Fighters facing outwards, and the guy basically on the right has a Morozov helmet with a. It's got an eyepiece on it. God damn. But yeah, if anyone knows the one that I'm talking about, it's got that picture. I'll see if I can find it another way. Moros. See if we can find it. No, I'm not seeing it. Yeah, so it's basically a new variant of that. Kind of looks cool. Can't see it here. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to finish this and I'm going to go find this image moments after I've talked to you all about it, which is going to be really frustrating. What about? Just going to see if I can find some of the image. Can't find it. Right, that's enough of that. Because you guys aren't going to. It's a new Morozov. So yeah. John Chavez, buddy, good to see you. Sleep well, my friend, and have a good day at work tomorrow. Yeah, so there's that. Texas Zero says, I'm torn between thinking they'll just import the Theatres of War assets as a way to get some new things in this year without much work, or if they'll bring in the whole Theatres of War mode. So yeah, I've seen nothing that suggests the Theatres of War mode. I think what we're going to see is the assets brought across. What's interesting here is that it doesn't say where they're going to be, but the roadmap release tile has something on that, and we'll have a look at that in just a second. So, they've added a whole bunch of things to the 1.0 column as well. Now, caveat to this, just because it's in 1.0 doesn't mean it's going to wait to 1.0. This is 1.0's becoming this big long laundry list of here's what we're going to have in the game when we consider it released at 1.0. And that doesn't mean it's going to stay there. When it's ready to go and it's ready to go into a point patch, it will be removed from 1.0, or at least a copy, being the tier 0 implementation or whatever, will end up in a point patch. So just because things like, you know, the fire hazard and that, things that we were expecting very, very quickly, Star Citizen relative, doesn't mean that it's now been punted down the road too far. You're not waiting to 1.0, it will come back. Roll to 1.0, 1.0, yeah. Teapot, you're not wrong. Sent you a list on Discord, says Teapot. Teapot, thank you for that. I shall have a look just a second. As long as you're not trying to, nick stuff. I shall have a look. 6:30 in the vid. Okay, thank you. Oh, if you're interested in a Kenko Millicano barista, for some reason my ad blocker's being funny, so it makes me do this. So let's do. Oh, here we go. 6:30 in the vid. Where are we? 6:30. There you go. So that's the new Morozov helmet. So definitely different. It looks a little bit Star Wars, if I'm being honest. Does it not? So yeah, Sebastian, good to see you, bud. Hope you're in. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you in. That's what I meant to say. I just combined it and said something that made absolutely no sense whatsoever. Hope you're in. Like, yeah, that's what she said. So yeah, that's that. I can't think about finding them. I've had actual dreams about them. Says dropped. Yeah, drop that is issues. That's not good. It's probably a good thing you didn't see that because I clicked on something I shouldn't have during it. So let's go across. So that's the new helmet. Looks vaguely Star Wars. Right, so there's that. That's the new Morozov helmet. And I know it looks like a troll, but there is actually an image in a. I just can't find the image that CIG have released officially, and it's basically the guy on the far right as you look at it. They're kind of like, God, I can't say that on stream now either, can I? On the furthest right on the screen, fuck's sake. You know, so they start here and they kind of get further away on the right as they go away, and you see that he has actually got that eyepiece over. So yeah, is that a GoPro above the eye? Yes, I believe it is. Either that or it's like one of those rad kind of detection units. But yeah, that's kind of cool. So yeah, so there's that. So this is one of the things that they kind of they've added, and hopefully they just keep doing this stuff, right? So some of the get-ups you can get are really nice. You can make some really nice variations of armor look really cool. Morozov's really hard because the arms are chunky and they don't really go with anything else. But like the ADP and the Balor stuff and all that, it mixes really well together. One of my favorites is the ADP Woodland stuff, and then you get the Aztalan helmet. You'll often find me on that when we're doing ops within the Discord, because we have an org as well. If you want to join DWGP, it's not DGP because someone's nicked that, but it's DWGP, Drinkers with Gaming Problems. Sling us a application. Just make sure you're in the Discord, and in the application you've got a comments thing. Put what your Discord name is, because if you're not, I go nope. That's it. So make sure you're in there. No commitment, no nothing. We're just to hang out when you're not repping other orgs. Come with us. Go get drunk, play some games. That's what DGP is all about. So yeah, if you want to, then by all means. Star streamer, star vlogger, says Mad Teapot and Jedi Grifter. Yeah, nice. That looks like thrown together. So Star Galaxy has that. Yeah, it looks like someone's just put like a COVID mask over the front of the Morozov armor, and then, you know, cosplayed it a little bit. But yes. So yeah, so going back to then, yoink, clink. Let's go back to the progress tracker. No, it's that one, isn't it? So this stuff in 1.0 has all been thrown in there. Nothing really that new in there. It's all stuff that we knew was going to happen. There's something about new upgrades, layouts, and functional improvements to Hangar, and I suppose there's a little bit of a question over what that is. But weapon overheat we knew was coming, radiation we knew was coming, FPS, radar and scanning rework for vehicles, solar flare, engineering gameplay, life support, all of this sort of stuff, charge and drain, fire hazard, item misfire and wear, quantum boost control surfaces. We knew all of this was coming as of the last CitizenCon at the latest, things like the control surfaces and stuff. So yeah, if it was a chance, it says drop your... No, mate, that's why we're here. It's really cool that everyone gets to see this stuff. So yeah, so that's that, and 1.0 is looking a little bit different. So if we go across to the release view now, I might zoom out slightly and go back to this, because I think this is big enough that we can see. So all that's missing from this now is the supply or die, and that's just because they haven't updated this since Wednesday. So obviously that's in now. So 4.0 is now committed. The bit that it's replaced, as I said in the video, was the location repair, which is gone. That was going to be repair at Pyro, specifically at the outposts, and then it was going to be ported back to Stanton when they had the time. That too has been shunted. With the locations, this is what we're seeing, and I'll zoom in again so you can see exactly what this says. So you can see here the Hathor ground alignment stations. Let's go down a little bit more. Can I go down? No, let's do that. So it says, strategically placed Hathor-operated outposts providing key infrastructure and sandbox gameplay opportunities, which is why I think you're right, whoever said that, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Apteryx, was it? About this being sandbox stuff. We then got the mining station, a large-scale mining laser facility operated by the Hathor Group. So what's interesting is it says large-scale mining facility. It doesn't say facilities. So maybe that was one, maybe that's just bad writing. We don't know. But Whether that's through Stanton or whether that's just Pyro, we don't know. I'm guessing it's going to be Pyro. And the reason that I say that is because the other planets are corporately owned. It's clearly not going to be ArcCorp. It's not going to be Crusader because there's nothing to mine. It's a gas giant. Maybe it's some of the moons and they bought the rights, but I doubt Microtech or Hearthstone are going to let them do that because that's that companies, that's that corporations, sovereign property. So yeah. So that's that. And then Redacted is that mission giver location. So that's kind of an interesting one. And now when you look at 1.0, there's a lot in there, right? We've got a lot of bits and pieces in there. Excuse me. For them to go and add into the game. So yeah, 1.0, like I said, becoming effectively this repository of everything that they're going to try and get into the game when they get a moment. We can go up and end the poll now. So interesting. I didn't expect it quite to go that way. In game history, it puts these stations in Stanton, says Hunter. Interesting. I suppose it could be there before they sold them to the organizations. It's just too much cost to get rid of them. But that's interesting. Thanks for the heads up and welcome in, Hunter. Good to see you, my friend. So yeah. I wonder when the new player armor will come in. We can answer that within 4. So it's in 4.1. 4.1? 4.1. Yeah. I don't think it's a point patch. So if we go back quickly. Oh, didn't want to do that. Let's go back to that. So 4.1 column. And these are all the 4.1 stuff. So the redacted armor set will be in 4.1. Because where it's not, it says that scheduled to come in a patch. So it is in 4.1.0. And I would imagine it's going to be part of the reward for whatever the next set of armor is, right? Or it's something that we can go and loot off people. So yeah, kind of cool. And that's that. And I think that's everything, right? Oh no, just a quick look at the funding and just how close we are now to $800 million. Which is frightening. At some point, I'm getting a little bit tired of on, shorts and videos fielding these rather kind of basically asinine comments about, the money that's been funded and everything else. I am all for, and I've done it already during the stream. I am all for criticizing things where criticism is due and helps. The one thing that I'm not happy to do is I really, really, really don't like, if something's worth criticizing it, if something is attracting criticism, criticize it for what it's attracting it for. If it's that bad, like a lot of these haters say, leave it alone. Like, you don't have to make shit up about it, right? And it happens not just with games, it happens with bloody everything, right? Some people say, oh, so-and-so is really bad and whatever else. And then they'll make stuff up about them. It's like, well, why do you have to make it up if they're really, that bad? Like, no one had to make stuff up about certain dictators from the 20th century. You didn't have to make stuff up. In fact, you were finding stuff out there, people going, Jesus, I wouldn't even have made that up in my worst nightmare. Like, that's horrific. And all right, a game is not a dictator from the 20th century, but it's the same thing. And, that people make it sound that when this project started, it started with 5 studios in 5 different countries, 4 studios in 4 different countries, whatever it is, with 800 staff or 1,100 staff, whatever they're up to now, and that they were ready to go and they had all the things in place and they knew what they were doing and they had the engine they were going to use. And that's just not the case. When they started this, there were 14 staff and only 10 of them were developers. So, yeah. We're just seeing it, people need to decide which side of the fence they're on, right? If gamers are people who got knocked off by No Man's Sky and Cyberpunk being released before they were ready, and there were some people who were really knocked off because people got death threats out of that, right? And that's bad, clearly. You can't then go, oh, but I want this game to release now. But yeah, that's what the investors said. Like, which side of that coin are we on? Do we want it released when it's ready, or do we want it released now? And it's getting a bit boring pointing that out to people. So at one point I will do a video. It will be a very clickbaity title. I will attract all of the salt and all of the criers and all of the whinge babies and the salt farmers and the griefers and the and I will go and prod them all. I will throw stones at them. I will, for want of a navy term, I will flick piss at them and go wind them all up. One of the things that I'm really looking forward to do, and I've started doing it, is certain comments I've gone and saved them. And then when Squadron 42 releases, I'm going to call them all out in a video. Because if we have to endure 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years of people telling us we're stupid for supporting this, that we are, all simps and losers and then I get to, for one video when they're all proved wrong, tell them that they're a bunch of assholes. Because they are. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be spicy, and you're all invited, obviously. So yeah, that's that. Cock Carnage has a good little short on your channel. If it's think it's a scam, you don't know what a scam is. Yeah, I think I saw this, and I think he like that was that the really level-headed one, Tech, where he says, yeah, it's bad, it's not a scam. Yeah, exactly that. I think that's what he said. Is like, look, there's mismanagement and there's all this, that, and the other, but this isn't vaporware. There's a product here. They're working on it. You can see the improvements, and you can absolutely see that, right? So, I mean, I'll see if I can go and find it. I'm just going to jump out again so I don't do anything stupid and embarrassing. But I'll see if I can find something when people say, oh, they're doing nothing with it. So do that. And then what I also want to do is go. Talking amongst yourselves quietly while I'm doing this.
What is going on, guys?
Oh, didn't mean to do that. And that's going to happen again. There we go. So yeah, I'm just going to see if I can find some 3.0 gameplay stuff from a video. Oh, it is Ball Gamer. That might be an interesting one. So, I mean, this is what it used to look like, right? So to try and claim, so this is 3.0.1, I think. This is what it used to look like. And obviously there's a lot of similarity, but there's also a lot that's very, very different. Good old LSR. Anyone remember LSR? Hey, Hellwinter. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for coming in. Matt P, how you doing? Looking forward to that video, says Matt P. Yeah, doesn't seem too keen on the game as is, but he does stick up for it in that respect. And that, do you know what, Tech? That is absolutely the person that I respect, right? You don't have to like Star Citizen. No one said you did. You don't have to like Squadron 42. No one said you did. You don't have to like Cloud Imperium, and you don't have to like Chris Roberts. You don't have to do any of that. And if you've got issues with the way they do stuff, like I'm with you, 100%. I support that. But criticize it for what it needs to be criticized for. Don't just make up stuff about the rest of it. That is where you start to lose my respect. And that I'm there. You're just here with another agenda. And I think for some people, it's incredibly easy for them to not stand up for anything. You just tear everything down. Like, oh, well, this is crap, and oh, well, this is crap, and oh, well, that's crap. And, it's really easy to criticize everything. For those of us that have done this, and, there are times when I wonder, have I put too much into this? Like, have I put too much money into this? Am I ever going to see it all come to fruition? And I'm sure, whether we're wanting to admit it or not, we all have had that experience where we're like, maybe, you know, am I just, for want of a better phrase, pissing into the wind with this game? I get that. But then to have people jumping up and down on us about it and you know, whinge about it and everything else, and then tell you you're an idiot for doing it, like, you're like, well, you got no dog in this fight. Why do you care? So yeah, they're going to have it thrown back at them. I promise. We've had a lot of good things. Yeah, there's a lot to come into this game, but I think people just need to grasp the fact that this is where things are. I'm going to go and have a look at the next one now, because this is Hype Citizen did this one, who's on 554 subscribers. So go over and say hi to Hype, and let him know who sent you. Because yeah, this is the old hangar module, but this is what this stuff used to look like. An unfortunate picture of Chris there in the top right hand corner. Look. But yes, so I mean, this is what this used to look like. This is what it was. So to claim that there's like nothing's happening in this is just ludicrous. I remember that use button. You know, I started playing this in 2017, so I think I did a couple of demos or whatever else, playing on someone else's account beforehand. So that might be where I remember it from. It might not be from when I was playing properly, but it might have been. I'm going to pour some out for Port Olisar's drop yogurt misses so much. Yeah, absolutely. We're lucky to see how the sausage get made, and it's not always pretty. You are not kidding, sir. Would love to see a derelict Olisar out in the asteroid belt, occupied by Ninetales. Yeah, and just like, there's just so much they can do with this. And I think that's why I don't mind them building these huge systems rather than just getting stuff implemented into the game, is that if they do build it, you know, systems that work. We put a station in, the station will have a resource network. This is how a resource network works. This is how hacking works. And you apply that to every location. Yes, that's a crap ton more work, but it means that whatever you can do at one location, you can do at any location. And that's really interesting. That's really cool. And games just don't exist like that anymore. Or if they do it on a very, very basic level. So yeah, Jadoma says, sorry, got that one. Wooter says, I know 100% I put way too much money into it. I'm about 2k in for ships, and then nowadays paying a sub for the flares. I doubt I'll put more into it than that. And that's it, Wooter, is that, you know, I mean, so talk about expensive hobbies, right? I don't know of hobbies that are cheap, right? I play Warhammer. I collect Warhammer, more to the point. I'm just looking because I've got my model cabinet there, but I don't want to go pulling stuff out. You know, I've got Warhammer all over the place. I've got books all over the place with this stuff. I am such a... There's, I don't know if you can see him. I took the top of his staff off because I wanted something else. But when I was a manager for Games Workshop, we had a Halloween model painting competition. I don't know if you can quite see him. But that's my goblin shaman with a witchy poo hat on. Right? So I'm massively into my expensive hobbies, right? Things are expensive. People can't tell you what to spend your money on. If you want to, you want to, and if you don't, you don't. Like, there's no, to my mind, it makes no difference whether you're a $40 backer with a game package and nothing else, or whether you are, you know, the Legatus pack, got every ship in the game still going, looking at you, Dell. But yeah, so that's that. Clarify, I played a long time, says Wooter. Yeah, absolutely. Hunter says, God, I'm so glad the hangar module's gone. I remember being in there looking at my Avenger Titan and not being able to leave. Oh yeah, that's just, it's like, hi, we're going to give you a ship and then you're not going to be able to use it. So I think this is the Aero View hangar, is that right? That's a very pretty kind of like premium hangar, but yeah. Did like the shooting range, but not the hollow table. Mine is Lego, looking for a part-time job to subsidise my hobbies and jobs. And Lego is not a bad place to start, my friend. Fan of 40k, played the Dark Angels myself, but the friend I play with is no longer with us. I've been considering selling my army. Yeah, well, I'm sorry to hear that, Wooter, but yeah, it's one of those things. I collect more than anything. I just like having them lying around, especially with the current version of the rules. I'm just not enjoying it. But yeah, expensive hobbies. I own a Harley and play SC. Box check, says Teapot. Yep, 100%. I've been pretty heavy on Star Citizen, but I keep telling my dad not to buy too much, says Hunter. Yeah, exactly that. Sandgrouper, welcome in, bud. In the Hangar module, we also got the helmet flip. We did get the helmet flip. You're right. So yeah, that's that. So for people to whinge and bitch and say that there's nothing here, I think this is what's kind of I found more and more. And I don't know if you've seen on the channel, I've got a bunch of shorts that I've starting putting together stuff on Squadron 42. And I'm so enthused for Squadron 42, it's beyond words. If the rest of the game looks like what that looks like, oh my god, like Squadron 42 is going to be incredible. If that's what it feels like, then yeah, that game's going to be incredible. Between then and now, my mission is to do as much as I can on the channel, build a great community with you guys, and be as home for as many gamers for Star Citizen and everything else as I possibly can be. That's the mission. So yeah, we'll see how that mission goes. I'm hoping that that's where we end up. But yeah, this is the whole point. That's why we're drinkers with gaming problems. Squadron 42 could be a movie. Yeah, 100%. That's the other really asinine. It's like, it's a game trailer. It's not. It's rendered in game. If you watch, there are times when stuff streams back in and out. It happens quite comically with like the Vandal at one point. So yeah. The things that gets me is that people used to complain about Star Citizen and called it all sorts of things, and now coming back and checking it out like it's something new. Probably due to the Squadron 42 trailer. Do you know what? It's a 100% that. Right, it's just like I've got to qualify this, right? Whether you're new to the game or whether you've been here since this thing was, whether you're a golden ticket holder from before the Kickstarter, right? Don't care. I make no difference in support. The only time I draw any distinction is when you get fucking idiots, right, who spend their entire time crapping all over this with a referral link in their YouTube channel description or in the YouTube video description. Do you know what I mean? That to me is the worst type of misleading. You're saying it's awful, you're disagreeing with practices, and yet you're trying to get stuff out of other people buying it. Like, it's just the worst form of humanity. Right, it just like I think this is disgusting, but hopefully other people will buy it and get me stuff. Yeah, that, 100%. So yeah, it's that sort of stuff, and like I want people to enjoy this, and I want people to come back to it. But to spend ages shitting on it and then be like, oh, this is really amazing. It's like, yeah, and the rest of us who were here the whole time, you were calling us simps and muppets and white knights. Like, we know this is good. Why do you think we've been here all this time? Can't wait for loads of new players to come in and for me to show them around. There's one who dropped in a little while ago. He popped in and I went through the wormhole for him to show him what it was like. And honestly, those sorts of things are just incredible, having people see this for the first time. One of my favourite things to do with new courses is identify on my training courses who the geeks are. And then I basically force them into a room and make them watch the Squadron 42 trailer. The old one, the 2 minutes and 40 ones. Maybe I'll make them watch the whole hour of gameplay. That might be quite good. But yeah, I don't know. What I might do is I might create an unlisted video on my channel, which is all the best parts of the Squadron 42 trailer. And then just make them, and then just play that for them and just be all right, sit down. You get an extra 10% if you watch this. But yeah. So yeah, those people are real precious stones, says Judomo, 100%. I stopped playing SC every few months, says Wooter. I even had an entire year I didn't play because of bugs. I'm still thinking the game will go better, but today the servers are broken again with a 2-day-old patch. Yeah, there's work to do, and you know the best thing you can do with this game is not treat it like other games. Don't come in and play it to death. Play it when you want to, enjoy it when you want to do it, but leave. And the other thing that I saw, I heard a couple people say this, and it was probably the most true thing that I've ever had. I forget the context that it was in. I think it might have been Jadoma. I think this might have been your nugget, and it's like the truest thing I've ever heard. Is if you come into this game with a plan, you're doing it wrong. Just come in and see where it takes you, because you'll come in and go, I want to do this, and it's broken. So you come in and you just see where the game takes you. You follow the story through, you know, whatever it takes you. So we've done ones where we've gone and done something like we try to do salvage, and then someone tries to salvage something that they shouldn't. They get a crime stat. They then try to like go to the station and go to pay the fine, and then they get caught and handed in, and then we go and bust them out. It's like these really. It's like, hang on, we started off with salvage. Now we're in a PvP situation in Korea. How did what? And it's silly things like that, but really good fun things like that, that make this game. So yeah, I think that's one of the truest things I've ever heard anyone say about this game. Sandgrouper says, worst instance I came across was a content creator who was doing a CIG giveaway, but it was based on people using their referral code. Yeah, that's really bad. I did ask people what sort of stream they wanted. Sorry, what sort of thing I wanted to do for the 3,000 subs. One of the things they said was, why don't we do a shot for every new subscriber? I've looked into the terms and conditions. I can't. There is, on both Twitch and YouTube, is expressly prohibited to do a cash for drinks thing. So you can have drinking games, like the one we did at CitizenCon, where we had word bingo, and I ended up getting not very drunk, but I ended up running out of alcohol, basically, before I got drunk. And then I ended up on the whiskey, and I had to draw stumps, because I was like, this is good whiskey. I'm not just necking this every time they say soon, or, you know, upcoming, or, you know, no date yet. But yeah, we all got sloshed, that's how I went to. Yeah, that was a rough couple of hours drinking, right? But that sort of stuff. So you can do drinking games. What you can't do is do alcohol in requests for money. So you can't do like, hey, if you super chat $2, then I'll drink this. $3, I'll drink this. $5. You can't do that because it would kill people. So yeah, you're not allowed to do that. Yeah, but you didn't cry, said Jadoma. No, I didn't. That's that. It's true, says Zaveth. You don't tell Star Citizen. Star Citizen tells you. Yeah, absolutely. What about using a Nerf gun? A shot for everyone. I mean, yeah, why not? Oh yeah, that's right. I put pyro on the drink because I'm an idiot. I put pyro on that wasn't last year, that was the year before, right? We did a stream party for the whole thing, and oh my god. Badges, you would fit in here in Wisconsin. We don't get drunk, we just run out of alcohol. Oh dear, mate, it's a body mass thing. Like if I was the size I was when I joined the Navy, like I'd just be a lightweight. But you know, now it's just it's a ratio thing. It was the beams that did it. Oh my god, yes, I put beams in, Jadoma. That's right. And then they started talking about network gaming, and it was that every time we saw a beam. And it just like they were showing the repair gameplay, and I was just like, oh god, I can't keep up. I can't pull my shots quick enough. It was good. It was good. I put now about $150 a year for 12 years. Adds up, but not that expensive. Do you know what? You know, I probably, well, I do. Oh, I spend more on takeaways. Do you know what I mean? In a year. And that's one person. It's easy to do if you're family, right? That's like 3 takeaways, but yeah, it's 100% Jello. It's whatever people enjoy, right? And this is why I stay away from the money conversation. Things like buyer's guides and you should buy and that sort of stuff. You know, the closest thing I've got is I've said to people, before you buy, here are things that you should know about the game, because I don't feel like people talk about them enough when they're talking about what game pack is right for you. It's like, nope, that's not the way to do it. So yeah, it's why I stay away, because it's not anyone's right. Just because I got a camera and a mic and started gobbing off on YouTube, and for some reason you lot started listening to me, it doesn't give me the right to tell you what to do with your money. But we've covered that a lot, right? I feel like we've covered that a lot. One of the things I don't feel like I cover enough and I just want to say this towards the end, is DGP started, Christ, DGP started probably 15, 16 years ago now, because there was a group of us that used to go to LAN parties here in the UK. Unfortunately, it's gone bust now, but it was a group called Multiplay, ran an event called Insomnia, largest LAN parties in the UK. Incredible events. The biggest one I went to was 2,000 people, all in one place, all linked to the same network with internet connections that our telecoms company over here called, and this was its official name, the Fat Pipe, and yes, PH, right? So we all had great internet, we could all connect on Steam, we could all play on the internet and whatever else. Incredible. And what they used to do is if you sit together, they get you to give yourself a guild name or, you know, a clan name, because it was clans back then. I'm showing my age now, right? And what we used to do was they said come up with a clan name, and Drinkers with Gaming Problems was the best I could do at the time. So I was like, Drinkers with Gaming Problems, and then we made a Discord when Discord was a thing, or you know when Discord became a thing, and we created a GGP Discord, and there was about 8 or 9 of us in there from when we went to events, and it all came about because people were talking about the Discord side of it. Was I've been playing. I wish you'd said we would have played together. So that was the whole point. And people would just go, is anyone playing this at the minute? Oh, yeah. And then they jump in and they play together. So when it came to a YouTube channel, it only made sense to me that it was ever going to be called Drinkers with Gaming Problems. And that's what this is. So if you're looking people to play Star Citizen or anything else, Helldivers, Final Fantasy XIV, Company Heroes, I'm trying to think what else we play. Any game that you can think of, even if you just want to sit in there and play a game and chat with other people while you're doing it, that's what DGP is about. And yes, we have a dark sense of humour. Yes, I would never class us as like the bad definition of woke or anything like that. But at the same time, it's a group for people to come and enjoy each other's company. We don't get to be dicks to each other, otherwise Badgers gets angry and beats you out the channel. You know, it's that sort of stuff. And that's the whole point of DGP. So if that sounds appealing to you, you know where the Discord link is. You're more than welcome to come in. And just because you'll see a lot of the names, Diablo 4, Dell, absolutely. Just because you see, unless you're Welsh. Yeah, absolutely, Matthew. Yeah, we wouldn't want the Welsh in there. Jesus. Crimes against livestock. If that sounds appealing to you, you know where we are. Just because you see the same names in the voice chat doesn't mean that you're not welcome. It's not a clique thing. New people always welcome. Lovely to have you. You know where to go. We'd love to have you on board. So yeah, that's it. Brings a tear to my eyes as tech. Or French, says Teapot. Well, do you know what? We'll have the French in and we'll see how it goes. The good news is if you get in a fight with the French, they run away or surrender. So, huzzah. Sorry, that's the downside of the humour, right? But the upside is we try to be nice and supportive to everyone. This is a hobby for me as well, so Del Kenobi. I really enjoy the universe when it works. It's been an interesting journey, this game. 100%. Jello says, now I melt on CCU and use minimal cash. Absolutely. Yeah, that's what this is. This is going to be, when it gets there, this game is going to redefine what games look like. And even if it doesn't, there will be games, and then there will be Star Citizen, and Star Citizen will stand apart from everything else. Yeah, I stand by that, even through all the bad times, and I know it's a struggle at the minute. I'm not trying to tell anyone that it's not. It's rough right now. It is 100% rough. I'm with everyone on that. But, he's a but. It's going to get there, so bear with it. We will eventually, you know, have something to proud of, and something where we say, where I get to say, I held the line. And we'll be proud that we stayed this long, and we'll be the people getting new players in, showing them how it works. So yeah. Drop Jogget says, Badger's got a good group of people. You all made me feel welcome when I'm able to join you all. It's been a while for me. Or I missed the stream, says Socially. Soshi, well, mate, it's good to see you just before the end. But, you know, it's yeah, that's dropped. I'm really glad that you said that. That's what I want this to be for people. I know people always talk about the community and stuff, but like I've said to you guys multiple times before, this is never going to be my career, right? This is never going to be the only thing I do, because I reserve the right. The minute this stops me enjoying games, I will drop it, because I'm a gamer first. this is great because I get to meet loads of people, and if this continues as a community and not a channel, then that's great. Not saying that's happening. I'm really enjoying the content creation too, but it will never be that. So I'm not paying lip service to it when I say I'm really chuffed and I want to spend next Sunday with you guys celebrating 3,000 subs. I'm not exaggerating or saying it for effect when I say come and be part of the Discord channel. Come and join in. Come and chill out. You don't have to say anything. Just come and listen to the conversation. Play your games, whatever it is you're going to do. There'll be people here that will be happy to play whatever, and we'd love to have you. All right? So, yeah. God has to have killer Wi-Fi. Do you know what? That's going to be it. My retirement plan is I'm going to invest. I'm going to create a chain of retirement homes with killer internet and inbuilt LANs, so that when we all hit retirement age, that's where we go. Pensioners with gaming problems? PGP? That sounds too much like what's that? PCP stuff. Yeah, no, that's bad. That's bad. I could be a brain in the jar, just hook me up and I'll be playing Star Citizen so mad. Wouldn't that be incredible? Not having to worry about like smacking the wrong buttons and stuff. But yeah. Are you streaming your 3K celebration, Luna? Luna, 100%. So it'll be the same time as the stream next week, except if you want to join, come into the Discord and we'll do that as well. I'll do what I can to kind of minimize the carnage, so people can come in and have a joke in the Discord and maybe not have to worry about what they're saying and what's captured. And more to the point, it doesn't invite people to come in and say stupid things to try and get me booted off of YouTube. But yeah, we'll be streaming it. So if you can't be there, or you don't fancy it, or you're not comfortable doing that, that's fine. Absolutely, we'll still stream it. So yeah, no idea what we're going to do yet. We're going to get in and see what Star Citizen lets us do. But 20 of us running around contested zones might be a little bit carnage and a lot of fun. So we'll see. I'll do the Evo testing such a demo, 100%. Marfax 101, download my brain and put me in an NPC body in game. Tech testing is there. I would troll so hard as an NPC in this game. We kind of did it. We got the so it's like the Crusader security armor. Was it the and you kind of do that, and then you kind of follow people around and then look away when they look, and you're like, so that's quite good fun. I feel like a lot of people do it now, so that's that. When does the org normally play SC? Stunner, it's whenever. At the moment, there's no kind of training nights. We don't even know what we are as an org. It's just when they said you can have you can be part of multiple orgs. I was like, okay, cool, because I don't have any plans at the moment. There's a lot of work that goes behind an active org, and I just do not have the time to do that. But we'll put some stuff together. I think we're about to have conversations about that. Ames Black, good to see you. I think first time in Ames, but good to see you. Welcome in. As long as my West Country accent isn't too distracting, I'll definitely jump in next weekend. Synthetic, are you West Country too as well, my friend? Is he West Country as in UK West Country? Because I'm a Plymouth lad. That's where I grew up, and family's still living there, and I'm hoping to move back to get away from the ridiculous property prices that are this end of the country. So yeah, but if you are West Country, right, my lover? Go into Executor, past Brizzle, Plymouth UK too, Synthetic, that's awesome. Coombe Dean, I was a Deaner, Plymstock, that's where I live, so yeah. Clearly, I don't think we know each other because you would have spotted, right? But yeah. So yeah, I got my I called my ship Station Security when Elite bought in ship names. So yeah, nice. I see what you did there, Tack. That's kind of cool. So we, for reasons that I won't go into because I don't want to offend anyone, but over the weekend I did some funny stuff, and we were having a joke about something that I could do to wind some people up, and we basically decided that I might have a really cool name for my Perseus, which we spoke about, was Faithbreaker, which probably tells you a little bit about what I was doing on the weekend. But yeah, Faithbreaker, potentially is my Perseus. We'll see. But I kind of like that name. I kind of like it a little bit more than the one I have in mind, but we'll see. But yeah, I kind of like that. But we'll see. Sparkwell, Swilly. Good old Swilly. Swilly, the only people that can change tyres faster than an F1 team. North Prospect and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Wait, isn't your person's name to be after? No, absolutely not, Sangroper. 100% not. You evil, evil person. Most memorable with your org was when we were all in a Prowler and raided Superior Coast Korea. That was fun. Do you know what? We've had a lot of fun with that Prowler. Unfortunately, I don't have it at the moment because it was something I bought in-game rather than buying with money, because I'm not paying $440 for a Prowler. You can poke it. And for those that are listening that need to hear this, that's not an invitation to buy me one. Stop it. But yeah, so yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I find the Prowler a lot of fun, and we've had some real fun with that. We did a fully crewed Polaris during the Slicers event, and that was just madness. So much fun watching that thing just light off. Yeah, incredible. Armchairs with tattoos, even the milk. Floats have police escorts. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, milk floats with police escorts. Yeah, it was rough up there, wasn't it? I don't know how much better it's got, but it was rough. Most memorable. Yeah. Sorry, Zavath, said that. So yes, that's that. So yeah, next Sunday, 9 p.m. UK time. Beyond by then for the 3,000 sub stream. If hopefully we'll get Twitch TGP on Twitch running for that as well. Although I don't know how much time I'm going to have this week. New video will come out this week. Jamaus, good to see you, my friend. New video hopefully out this week. Not quite sure what the topic is, but it may well be something that was suggested on last stream because I've been thinking about it a lot. It's been great to see you all. Unfortunately, Jamaus, you've caught us just at the end there, my friend. I stream normally 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. UK time. Keep an eye on the shorts. There's a lot of Squadron 42 content coming out. I'm also going to restart the 60-second sit reps. Covering what was covered at CitizenCon. We know it's all being punted down the line, but it's still the most current and best information that we have. RSI Phoenix, does the PDC work? Yes, it does. Unfortunately, there's only one of them, and the placement isn't great. So you've got to have stuff in the right angle for that to, go the way that you want it to. Okie dokie. Ladies and gents, it's been a pleasure, as always, to see you all in. There was no clickbait, so it's not been a huge stream this time around. But all the best people are here, obviously. It's been a pleasure to see you all. You've been watching Drinkers with Gaming Problems. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'll see you soon.